Hi, all learners. So today we are going to be doing, I hope y'all are having a great Friday. So today we are going to be learning about the food web and how we can create one. So you will have a piece of paper in front of you, and we're going to draw out the food web one at a time so that we can understand what a food web is. Y'all already know what a food chain is, and where a producer eats a consumer eats a producer, and then another consumer can eat them. So it's like a chain reaction type of thing that they have. We're going to learn a little bit more about what a food web is. It's kind of similar to a food chain, but there's more involved with it. So let's go ahead and get started. So we first need to know what a food web is. So it's interconnected sets of food chains. So like I just said, it is similar to what a food chain is. The only thing is there's interconnected sets of a food chain. So you're going to have different sets of food chains involved in a food web. So we have here, these are the different ones that we have. So we have our producers here. We have some consumers right here. So we're going to go through each of them so that we can see how we're going to start off with our food web. So we're going to be using all these different animals that we have here. So this is a food chain. Here's another food chain. So we have right now 4 food chains that we have here, but we're going to make a web into it. So you have it, like it says, interconnect everything with it to make a food web. So let's go ahead and get started. So first we're going to start off with, we have all those 4 leaves, right? So if we look here, we have all the same producer. So we're going to start off by putting and drawing the producer that we have. So our producer is a leaf. So we have here on our paper, it's going to be at the bottom. So make sure you draw it at the bottom. That is our producer. So that is a leaf that we're going to start off with. So if we look back to our next part, so that's our producer. We've already have one thing down there for our food web. So we have here is next is our consumers. So these consumers are what eats plants. So we've already learned about this vocabulary word from this unit previously. So yesterday we learned about consumers and the different types of consumers when we did our flip book. So let's go ahead and see where they're going to be at. So we have only 2 of these consumers that eat plants, which is the producer. So we have a worm and a cricket. So let's go ahead. Again, we start off with our producer at the bottom. So we have here is we're drawing both consumers, what I was just telling you about, that eat producers. So we have here is a worm, and this is what it's going to look like. So you're going to have 2 arrows going from the leaf. This is starting off for your food web. So we already have our chains that are food chains that we've already seen before, those 4 food chains. We had one that was a worm that would eat a leaf, and then we had 3 other food chains that were crickets that would eat a leaf. So we can see here that we have, that's one food chain, and those are representing the 3 food chains that we have. So we're going to next go to the next one is drawing the next consumer. So these are going to be the next consumers. So we have 2 rats, 1 frog, and then 1 bird. So we're going to go through and see what would eat the different ones. So we're going to reflect back over so we can see that we have a worm and a bird eats the worm based off of this food chain. A mouse or a rat would eat a cricket. Next is the frog would eat a cricket. And then we have, again, a mouse or a rat that would eat a cricket. So we're going to go based off of that information. Remember, we don't repeat the same animal, so we may have arrows going off of it. So let's go ahead and look at what it's talking about for the next consumers that they have. So we can see here. So remember, we have our 1 food chain, that's that, and then we have 3 going off of here. Remember, we have 2 mouse or rats that go based off of the cricket. So we don't have to repeat that again. So we have only 1 right there. So this will represent 2 of the animals that they have when it comes to eating the cricket. So this is dealing with 1 food chain. So it has the next food chain that's happening. And this is the 3rd food chain. Now, this last part that we're going to do is going to really break it down into the 4 food chains that you see. Again, this is breaking it down to see who would eat what when it comes to our food chain. But this is an interconnected part, which makes it into a food web. So let's go ahead and look. So our last one is our last part for our food chain and to make it into the food web. So we have 3 snakes and 1 bald eagle. So when we look at it, we can see that a snake would eat this bird, a snake would eat this mouse, a snake would eat the frog. So again, it would make sure, and we can't repeat the animal. So it's going to be 1 snake up there, and then you're going to have a bald eagle that would eat a mouse or the rat. So let's go ahead and see the final copy of it for our food web. So the final here is right here. So we have the leaf to start off, then we have a worm. From the worm is the bird. So then the bird is eaten by the snake. That's 1 food chain. The next food chain is the leaf to the cricket, to the frog, to the snake. That's 2 food chains. Then we have the leaf, the cricket, the mouse, the snake. That is 3 food chains. The leaf, the cricket, the mouse, to the bald eagle. That's 4 food chains. So we have right there 4 food chains that we have visible, and you can see them based off of the colors. So we have the blue, that's one of them. The red is another one. A green, the green, and then it based off of the blue right here that is interconnected is another food chain. And then the last one is our purple to blue that we have. So we have 4 food chains that we are interconnecting to make a food web. Now we can see this a little clearer to see what animals can eat what. And so we start off with a producer, then the consumers that eat only plants. Then we have the next animals, which are the consumers that eat meat or other animals. Then last is the top of our food chain that eats the consumers that are underneath there in the meat. We are going to answer questions in teams, so you're going to make sure and draw this out. If you need to stop it at any time to get better information, that is perfectly fine. If you need to go back and understand the food web a little more and start drawing it, that's perfectly fine too. If you have any questions, please message me in Teams or email me. I hope y'all have a great weekend, and I will see y'all later.